Oh, there was so much research. It was the first, I want to say like the first year I was working on the book, it was at least half of that time was spent researching. Especially when I was here in New York. I knew I was only really going to be here for the 2 years of my program. I knew that then we were going to have to move. So when it became clear that this book was going to be my project that I was going to be working on, I was like, okay, well, I'm at Columbia. I have Columbia's resources at my disposal. I'm here in New York, and I just went to the library and just photocopied as much stuff as I could, all the old microfilm articles, the archives of newspapers, and I just figuring out which books I was going to need to order and read and whatever. And then I just spent a lot of time reading. I read, well, I knew sort of about the Lower East Side just from, the Jewish community from Sunday school and from, sort of song and story and movies and Hollywood and whatever. But Little Syria was completely, I had no idea. It was completely
and that's a real
unknown to
name.
me.
It was really called
It was
that?
called Little Syria, yeah. And it was where the financial district is now. And it was only really there for, like, in the financial district for, I want to say, like 15 or 20 years, because when the Holland Tunnel started to get built, they just sort of, everyone picked up and moved to Brooklyn. But
Brooklyn.
But so there have only really been a couple of researchers, Arab American historians, that have really sort of delved in and written books about Little Syria, and so I had to find them, and I felt like I was just discovering something completely new, and I had to. It was like everywhere I turned, there was something I had to learn about. Even just how did people just live their daily lives? Did people have pocket watches? Did they know what time it was? Did they have to figure out, how did they get uptown and downtown? How long did it take to go from one place to another? If I wanted to have meeting someone at a particular place, and well, how would they get there? The elevated, I had to research the old New York elevated map, before the subway system, and just it was like I felt like I was climbing a mountain, and every once in a while I'd have to like stop and tie a line on, and that was the research, and I'd just have to like stop and find something out and then come back to it and try not to get sidetracked, because I could just research forever if I wanted to.